Hey, alright, welcome to another video. If you haven't been here before, my name is Georgia Jo and this is my channel where I talk all things books. So today I'm hoping to complete a series, or at least the books that I own in the series. I don't know if there's any more. Anyway, it is, obviously as you can tell by the title, it is the rest of the Shatter Me series. So I'm up to the fourth book, I think, so I'm including the novellas. So I think I've read two full-size books. They're up here, not here, you can't see them, but two full-size books and one novella. So I've read Shatter Me, Unravel Me and Unite Me, which I think is Fracture Me and Destroy Me in one. So I've read them, and then I've got 4 full-size books and 2 novellas left, I think. I don't really know what order they're in, but I really want to get the series done. So I feel like I'm just gonna binge it. Like this week, it's all I'm gonna read. I'm just gonna read until I finish them, basically. I think I can probably get them done in a week because I'm like purposefully setting out to do that, you know. I wouldn't usually read this much in 1 week. So honestly, I can't really remember where I'm up to. I have done 2 vlogs on the Shatter Me series already. The first one I think was just reading Shatter Me, and then the second one was the other 2 books that I've read, and I can't really remember much about them. Obviously this vlog is going to be spoiler filled because it's going to be hard to talk about the series without talking about it properly, you know. So it is going to have a lot of spoilers in it, but I feel like the series is old enough now to be able to talk about it, and if you're clicking on this video you can expect spoilers. So yeah, I don't really know where we're up to. I think once I get into it I'll like pick it up, but yeah, I'm going to start reading it. Hopefully, like I say, get this done this week because I really want to get them all read, so that first of all, so I can get them all off my TBR, because it's 7 books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books that are sat on my physical TBR, and also I just want to get the series done, you know. I want to finish it so that it's not there for me to read, you know, and I can find out what's happened. So yeah, let's just start reading Ignite Me and we'll see how far we get. I'm just gonna sit and read through the rest of the day and yeah, just see how much I can get read, I guess. Okay, so it is the next day now and I am I think it was 152 pages in. Yeah, I'm on chapter 24 now of Ignite Me. So I've decided I'm gonna film this as like a 24-hour readathon. So I started my timer. I'm gonna do the timer method where you like stop and start. I'm gonna try and get it done this week, over the weekend. It's Saturday now, so I started the book yesterday because I'm going out with my sisters this morning, so I knew I wouldn't have that time. So I thought if I do a couple of hours yesterday reading, then I can just carry on over the weekend. So I've currently got 22 hours and 8 minutes left. So I've read for nearly 2 hours. Yeah, nearly 2 hours. Why was I thinking there was 25 hours in a day then? 24. So I was thinking, not thinking, what am I going on about? I feel like I'm getting all my words jumbled up. So yeah, I've decided to do it as a 24-hour readathon. So I read for nearly 2 hours yesterday and I'm on page 152. So I wrote down some of my thoughts because I just feel like I can't always remember them once I get to actually filming. So let's have a look. So we ended the last book when the Omega Point was blown up by Anderson. So Anderson is Warner's dad, and then we find out that he's also Adam's dad as well. So he's like, I think he's the leader of the re-establishment. And then you've got the Omega Point like rebels. Everyone was meant to have died in Omega Point. Adam, his brother, Kenji, Castle, and then the people, like the rest of them that were sort of living there, the rest of the rebels were all meant to have died. Castle being the leader of the rebels. And then Anderson shot Juliet. So he ended up doing like an announcement to tell everyone that Juliet was now dead. So Adam and Kenji and James and all them think Juliet's dead, and Juliet thinks all the rest of them are dead. And at the end of the last book, Kenji was very much blaming himself for what happened, and I was very suspicious of Adam's reaction because he went to save James, because James was at Omega Point and they heard it was going to blow up. So he went to save James's little brother, which absolutely fine, you know, but then didn't sort of seem to be rushing off to go and save Juliet as well. So yeah, a little bit suspicious of his reaction at the end of the last book. And then Juliet ends up being with Warner and the 2 healer twins. I can't think of their names, Sonia and Sarah or something like that. They end up helping Warner save Juliet's life because she's just been shot by Anderson. So they save her life by sort of sending the healer powers through Warner, because obviously Warner can touch Juliet but no one else can. So yeah, they send their healing powers through Warner and end up saving Juliet, and then that's the end of the last book. So then this new book, Ignite Me, starts with Juliet is obviously alive. Warner saved her life. She's with Warner at the, I think she's at the re-establishment camp, but no one else knows she's there other than Warner. And he's obviously telling her, you know, a makeup point was blown up, all of your friends are dead, because that's what he believes. All of your friends are dead and everyone else thinks you're dead, so you've got to stay hidden type thing. And she's like, absolutely not. I want Anderson to be killed and I want to make sure everyone else is actually dead. I don't believe you're telling me the truth. So Warner ends up taking Juliet to where a makeup point was blown up, and she bumps into Kenji there. And he's obviously like so surprised, so shocked that she's alive, and takes her back to where everyone else is staying. Obviously he's like wants to kill Warner, but Warner ends up managing to get away because he can take other people's powers. And yeah, so Juliet ends up finding everyone else, realising obviously the closest people to her are alive, but hundreds of people died at Omega Point. But Adam, James, Castle, Kenji, and then a few of the others are alive still. So yeah, that brings us up to page 152. Warner has decided he's gonna help Juliet kill his dad, but he doesn't really want to like join the rest of the rebels. He don't want their help, and obviously they don't want anything to do with him. And then some of them decide they're okay, but Warner and Adam have got like their own thing going on, and Warner doesn't trust Adam, Adam doesn't trust Warner, and I feel like for good reason. Obviously they don't trust each other, but there's just something about Adam, and I know I said this in I was having these feelings in the other books that I was reading in this series. I just don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't trust his reactions. I think the way he speaks to Juliet, he talks to her like, firstly like absolute shit, like is so rude to her and like insulting her and stuff like that. And then he also speaks to her like she's a child, like she's so naive, she can't possibly understand what's going on, like she's just an idiot basically. And yeah, I just think the way he speaks to her is just like, who do you think you are type thing, you know. Obviously some of his interactions you can sort of justify and what he's going through. You can understand why he's like not understanding how Juliet can like Warner again now, considering everything that he's done to Juliet and to Adam himself, and you can understand that, but there's a way to go about it, you know. You don't need to start insulting her and calling her names and stuff like that. So yeah, I just don't like him. I just don't like him. I don't know if that's gonna change, but this moment in time I'm just not a fan. Also at this stage as well, my last thought is Warner doesn't know that him and Adam are brothers, but Juliet obviously knows. I don't know if Kenji knows that yet. I can't remember if she told him, but Adam knows, Juliet knows, but Warner doesn't. And I just feel like, just tell him, you know, because he's gonna find out at some point, and it's gonna be worse if he just finds out, or if like if someone uses it against him, you know, like Anderson uses it against him, that knowledge. I just think he's better just knowing. So I'm hoping that she tells him that sooner rather than later, so it doesn't end up going against them. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on it so far. I feel like I just read 150 pages like pretty quickly, and I feel like now I'm back in the story again. I couldn't fully remember what was happening, so I'm glad. It was kind of good when Juliet and Kenji like met up again, because Kenji was giving Juliet a rundown of everything that's happened while she wasn't there, and vice versa, and that kind of helped me to then remember what had happened. So that was actually quite useful, that scene. But I don't know if that was intentional, or it probably was, because I'm sure there was a gap between this one coming out and the previous one. But yeah, that was actually quite helpful. So I'm going to carry on reading now. Like I say, I'm doing it as a 24-hour readathon now, so I am going out soon to see my sisters, and then I will start the timer. I'm going out in half an hour, so maybe I won't do any reading now. I'll just start when I come back. So yeah, I'm on 22 hours and 8 minutes, or nearly 9 minutes left, and hopefully I can get that sort of done over the next 2 days, but we'll see. Basically 11 hours each day. We'll just see how far we can get over the weekend, and then if not, then it'll just roll into Monday and I'll do a bit Monday morning before work. But yeah, I'm gonna carry on reading Ignite Me now, and I'll do a little catch up when I've got some more thoughts and feelings And yeah, let's just get back into reading, I guess. I don't know if this is possible in this world, if like someone has these kind of powers, but I feel like someone has got to have done something to Adam's head. He's had some kind of personality transplant or something, because in the space of 2 minutes, in a couple of pages, he's just told her to drop dead, told her that she should leave, that she shouldn't be in his house if she wants to fight the war alongside Warner, and now he's telling her that he was happier when she was dead, and that he wished that, you know, she had died basically, and that it was much easier for him when he thought she was dead. Like, what on earth? What on earth? I can understand him being angry and upset and embarrassed or whatever about their situation, and him being with, or her having this, like, you know, weird relationship with Warner. I can understand all that, but this is a step too far. Do you know what I mean? This is like, it's outrageous how he's talking to her at the moment. I actually can't stand him. I can't stand Adam. He's doing my head in. So I'm at the part where Kenji, Warner's letting them all stay at the, like, his compound, and Kenji has just gone and got Adam and James, so they're now staying with them as well. And Adam is just, oh my god, he's like a child that can't understand his own emotions. Like, he comes and he's apologising first, and he's like, I'm really sorry, and then she stops him mid-sentence, and he's like, because Kenji basically told Adam that Juliet, like, is still in love with him and has been crying over him, and that's why Adam agreed to come. But Juliet is like straight away like, Kenji lied, that's not true, like, I've not been crying, I'm not still in love with you, like, we're over. He already knew that because Kenji ended up coming clean to him, but it's just like, it flips a switch in him and he's just like angry again. And it reminds me of, do you know, when you see like on the internet where it's like a typical thing of where men sort of will go up to a woman and, you know, compliment them and ask for the number, and then when the woman says no, the man's like, oh well, you're ugly anyway, I didn't even want you. It's like that. That's how he's acting, I feel like, because Juliet doesn't want him. Now he's like, well, you're horrible anyway, and you want to be with a psychopath, and you just don't even understand him, you don't even know Warner, like, you just don't get it. Just like, oh my god, get a grip, do you know what I mean? Stop being such a, like, so, not so loser, but like so hateful just because she doesn't want to be with you anymore, do you know what I mean? I'm just like, god, I actually can't stand him. Genuinely, I can't stand him. I feel so emotional. I don't know why I feel emotional, but she's just found out that she can now switch off her powers so she can touch anyone. Like, obviously she's been able to touch Warner and she's been able to touch Adam, and now she's figured out that she can turn off her powers, and she's just been able to give everyone a hug, and they're all celebrating together, and she's been able to give Kenji a hug. And I'm assuming now she's gonna go in now, because she knows she can control it and she's not just choosing Warner because he's the only one that can touch her. I feel like the next chapter she's going to see Warner and she's actually going to choose him, which is really nice, you know what I mean? She's not, like she says in the book, she's not choosing him by default. But yeah, I feel a bit emotional that she can now, like, it's what she's wanted her whole life. She's not been able to touch people, and now she's realised she can switch her powers off and she can give everyone a hug. Like, such a simple gesture that she's never been able to do before. I actually got a little bit teary reading it then, but yeah, I'm going to carry on reading. In fact, now I'm going to do a quick time catch up whilst I've just done a little update. So we are on, or I am on, 20 hours and 22 minutes left. So I've read for nearly 4 hours. I don't really think I've got much longer to go in this book now. So I'm on page 314, chapter 50 something. I can't see, my bookmark's in the way. Chapter 55, 315, and there is, I think, just under 4 or just over 400 pages in it. So yeah, I'll probably get this finished in the next maybe like hour and a half, something like that maybe. And then we'll move on to the next one. The next one's Restore Me. I'm pretty sure it's another full-sized book. But yeah, that's my little update to where I'm up to. Also, actually, I thought that I need to get out is I'm not a massive fan of the fact that Warner calls Juliet Love. I feel like, first of all, he says it a lot. He says love, he uses the nickname Love a lot, but also I think because I don't know where the author is from, but I feel like people in America think love is a really love as a nickname is a really sort of endearing, beautiful, like cute nickname, but I feel like from here love is like, can be quite condescending. It's not really like an endearing name. I feel here it's like what like the person at the shop says to you, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, love, passes that love. It's, do you know what I mean? It's not like a cute nickname. I just think it's so different here to what it is in like America. So yeah, I just feel like I'm not vibing with that. I'm trying to get past it because he does say it a lot, but yeah, I'm just not a fan. I really wish he had a different nickname, but that's my only thoughts really. I'm still not vibing with Adam. I'm hoping that it turns out he is actually a good person and I don't know, something's happened to his brain or something. I don't know. Also, I hope he tells Warner, or at least Juliet tells Warner, that they are actually brothers, because I think the only characters really that I'm liking at the moment is Kenji and James. They're my two favourite characters. I think even Juliet can be a little bit annoying. I just think she needs to make her mind up, but I guess now she's going to make her mind up that she wants to be with Warner because she's realised she's not just choosing him because he's the only one that can touch her. So maybe that'll change. And then Warner, I think, I don't know, I just feel like he's very dramatic. He's so dramatic, like, I can't be your friend, I think it will be the end of me, or whatever he said at one point. I just thought, oh god. Someone, I know it's fiction, but if someone said that to you in real life, you'd be like, oh, get a grip, do you know what I mean? So dramatic, just made me roll my eyes. And then I feel like now whenever Adam is like mean, or you just think, oh, yawn, you're boring, do you know what I mean, get over it, type things. So yeah, that's where I'm up to for now. That was such a good ending. So I've just finished Ignite Me. I feel like the last few like chapters, the chapters are really short in these books, but the last few, maybe the last quarter or something like that of the book is so fast paced. They're in the middle of a battle, it's like things going on, she's like fighting, she's getting through all these soldiers, she's now completely figured out her power, she's got this new suit on, she's like determined to win this war, and she goes and kills Anderson. First of all, who was that guy with the sound waves or whatever it was? Is he actually dead? I know it seemed like she killed him, but is he actually dead? Not sure. Where did Anderson find him as well? And she said he seemed vaguely familiar, so where is he come from? I feel like whenever they say someone's vaguely familiar, it turns out they're like a long lost family member or something. So yeah, I wonder where he's come from. Also, I have questions around Warner's mum. I don't really understand that bit. Obviously they've said she's died, but like we didn't see a body. Where was it when Juliet turned up? Warner's obviously not talking about it. Is she actually still alive? I don't know, I'm a little bit confused about that bit. Like where is she, do you know? Because she wasn't there, nurse wasn't there, so what happened? Juliet has just assumed that she's dead and Warner hasn't corrected that if it's not true, but we haven't seen a body. I feel like no body, if there's no body, you're not seeing a dead body, then you can't trust that they're actually dead in most books. So even sometimes when you see a dead body, they might not be dead, they still might come back alive. But yeah, I'm just, I don't know, a bit skeptical about that whole situation. So she's got all the powers. Kenji's okay, which I'm really glad about. Everyone has survived it. I'm wanting them to tell James that they are brothers. So obviously Warner now knows by the end of Ignite Me that he and Adam are brothers, and that's like all of a sudden switch something in his brain that now he wants to be like Adam's friend and they want to like create some kind of relationship. But I feel like if Adam still loves Juliet, which I don't think he really does because he's like awful to her, but if he's still pining over her, that's a bit awkward, you know, that's a bit uncomfortable that you're in love with your brother's girlfriend. Bit weird. But yeah, I'm glad that he now knows, but I want them to tell James which, especially now that Anderson's dead, I feel like he can just form a relationship with Warner, and it doesn't have to matter that Anderson was his granddad, basically. Well, yeah, his granddad, yeah. No, his dad. I think because he's like younger, that I was thinking he was the son, but no, he would be his dad. Also the fact that like they're all meant to be, I think Warner's 19 and Juliet's like 18, 17 or 18 or something. I feel like once they tell you their age, it kind of takes you out of the book, because you think, how is all this happening at 19? But obviously it's like a different world with like powers and stuff, and they've all gone through some like crazy stuff considering their age. So yeah, I feel like sometimes when they say that, I'm like, that's taken me out of the story a little bit, because I wasn't imagining you as a 19-year-old, you know, because he's gone through, he's like this commander and he's got all these soldiers and stuff, and I think I just don't see him as a 19-year-old. But yeah, anyway, so Ignite Me is now done. Obviously now that she has taken over, she's decided she's going to be the supreme leader, supreme commander. She's gonna have to fight other, sort of prove herself basically to all the other areas in this world. So I'm assuming that's what Restore Me is going to be about. I'm also guessing that there's going to be some kind of relationship, sort of, we're going to see the relationship between Warner and Adam grow, and I'm guessing this is all from Juliet's point of view. Oh no, actually it doesn't seem to be. Is this? Yeah, it is a full book, but I've just seen like Warner's name and then Juliet's name, so it actually looks like we're getting different POVs in this. Warner, Juliet. It might just be those two. Juliet, Warner, Warner, Juliet, Warner, Juliet, Warner, Juliet. Okay, so it seems to be just their two point of views, which is pretty cool. I feel like that sometimes keeps you invested in the story a bit more when you're not just getting one person's point of view when it's a story like this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this. Obviously I'm going to just start reading it right now. I don't know if it's going to be straight after where Ignite Me ends. Oh, it's been 16 days since Juliet Faraz killed the Supreme Commander of North America and took over as ruler of the re-establishment. 16 days since she assassinated Warner's father. She thought she'd won. She took over Section 45 and now has Warner by her side. When tragedy strikes, Juliet must confront the darkness that consumes her world and those she loves. Can she control the power she wields, or will it control her? Okay, so tragedy strikes, who's dying? I was about to say maybe Warner dies, but obviously half of this book is from his point of view, so he can't really die. Maybe Adam dies. I feel like I won't be too fussed. The only sad bit I'd feel is that Warner didn't get that chance to like be his brother, but yeah, I'm still not 100% sold on Warner, to be fair, either. But anyway, let's just start on Restore Me. Oh, let's do a time check. So I've got 19 hours and 21 minutes left. So yeah, let's just get this one. It's now 5 minutes past 6, so there's no way I'm going to read for another 7 hours to get it down to 12. So it might end up going through to Monday as well, but we'll just see how it goes. As long as I get the 24 hours done, that's fine, because there's no way I'm pulling an all-nighter, because I need my sleep. I don't function very well without my sleep. So yeah, I'll just read until I'm ready to go to bed now, and then see how far we get in this book. Maybe I'll try and get like halfway through. So I am 104 pages into this book so far. I don't really have many thoughts about the actual plot, but I have a few other thoughts. So it's just ended on Castle is speaking to Warner and is basically saying there's like something that Warner doesn't know about Juliet's parents, which obviously we don't know either. I actually can't really remember anything about her parents. I think they were like awful to her, and like because she, you know, no one could touch her. Maybe they thought that she was like evil or something, and they ended up putting her in the insane asylum. So I don't think I don't know, are we meant to think they're dead? I can't really remember much about them, honestly, but there's obviously something that no one knows. And I think Castle's trying to say that they're trying to, what's the word, not steal, kidnap Juliet, I think. I'm not really 100% sure what's going on there. But so obviously we're going to find out something about Juliet's parents. That what's his like grandfather called? Delilu, something beginning with D. Him, that character, I feel like I don't trust him. I don't know why, but I don't trust him. I just think, I don't know, he just seems a bit suspicious. I feel there's something going on with him. I just don't trust him. I think it's strange that he has no reaction to his daughter dying. He didn't even see it, never even saw his daughter, Warner's mum. He has no sort of reaction to his son-in-law dying, Anderson. He doesn't even acknowledge the fact that he's Warner's granddad. Obviously he doesn't know about Aaron. Oh, I guess he wouldn't be their granddad though, because it's his mum's side and they've got different mums, I'm assuming. So yeah, I guess Adam and James don't really come into it, but I just don't trust him. I don't know, there's something about him that's just a bit suspicious. Also Castle, I'm not really sure how I feel about Castle. I don't understand. Obviously it's fiction, so I don't not really know why I'm getting so like worked up about it, but I don't understand why the characters, or just in a lot of books, why people just aren't learning from past mistakes and why they don't just all tell each other the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like Warner's not wanting to go to see this family member that's come in, or this other Supreme Commander's son. He's not wanting to go to him because he doesn't want to tell Juliet things about his past. Like, let's just stop keeping secrets, you know what I mean? Castle won't tell Juliet anything about Warner's past. Obviously Kenji's opened up a bit more about his past, but also Warner and Adam have had a little heart to heart, which was nice to see. But both of them are struggling with the fact that Anderson's been murdered, the dad, but they obviously knew he was this awful man and they both hated him, but they're also sad about the fact he's died and they don't really know how to deal with those emotions. But neither of them want to speak about it with anyone else. Like Warner's trying to pretend that it's not affecting him to Juliet. I just think, why are you keeping all these secrets, you know what I mean? Let's just all tell each other the truth and then nothing can come up then. No one needs to be worried about things, do you know what I mean? I just think it's just silly keeping these secrets. Things always end up coming out anyway, and also this information can then be used against you, because you feel like Juliet, if she finds out something about Warner, like about him killing his friends, that when Anderson made him kill his friends, if she finds that out, that's gonna sound worse coming from someone else than coming from Warner. Do you know what I mean? If he could just explain it himself. So yeah, I'm just like, let's just all like actually talk. Do you know what I mean? Let's actually communicate. So there are my thoughts so far. Like I say, I'm 100 pages in. I feel like it's a little bit slow, but I guess it is going to be, because Ignite Me, the previous book, ended on such a sort of high. Like there was so much action and they've killed Anderson and it sort of ended quite like it was quite a conclusion, and then this is now building up to another storyline about all the other commanders and stuff that we don't really know anything about yet. So I guess it's kind of setting the scene. It's following on from Ignite Me and rounding all that up, but also trying to set the scene for the next one. So yeah, I've read 100 pages, but I feel like it's only just now gonna start getting into it a bit more. Time wise, I accidentally clicked off the timer earlier, last time I showed you. I clicked, so on the iPhone it's got like a pause and a play button and then an X right next to it. So by accident, instead of pressing the play button, I pressed the X, so I had to start it again. So I started it on 19 hours and 21 minutes 59 seconds. So now I've got left, I think that was around about where I was up to. So now I've got left 18 hours and 7 minutes and 28 seconds left. I'm going to carry on reading now. Like I said, don't really have any thoughts about the actual plot. I have more thoughts about some of the characters, but we're going to find out about Juliet's parents now, and everything's going to come out in the wash. Hopefully they don't kidnap her. I'm so sick of her being like someone's hostage. I just think, let her just be free for a bit, you know, but she should be able to defend herself now. And Kenji's going in with her as well, so yeah, we'll see what happens, and I will start my timer and hopefully get maybe another couple of hours read and just see where we're at from there. So let's get back to it. Okay, so I'm obviously in bed. I'm gonna sit up and or stay up and read for a bit longer now. It is currently just about to turn 9 o'clock and I have got 16 hours 50 minutes and 22 seconds left. So like I say, I'm gonna try and read for a bit longer now, but I'm on page 213. I'm on another Juliet, about to go into another Juliet chapter, and I can't lie, I'm kind of a little bit confused about what's going on right now, to be honest, because we're kind of finding out about Juliet's past, and she's got this sister. Warner's had some kind of history with her sister, but we don't really know what it is, but it sounds like he tortured her. And he's worried about telling Juliet that, which I can understand, but also she knows that he's done all these things, and like not about her sister specifically, but knows that he was like tortured people and stuff like that, and I think he didn't know it was Juliet's sister. So that's one thing. I'm a little bit confused about like where Juliet's come from, basically. So that's not even a real name. Juliet's not even a real name, it's like an alias. But how does she not know that she's come from a different family? Like, has there been some kind of mind like swipe or something? How does she not know where she came from, unless she was like really young, I guess. But she was only in that asylum, wasn't it, like 200 odd days? It wasn't even a year, and she's 17. So I'm just a bit confused about why she doesn't know she's got a sister, why she doesn't know who her parents are, she doesn't know where she's come from. I'm just a little bit confused by it all, so I'm sure more will be explained. Also, Castle is like, I don't understand his mentality. So he wouldn't tell Juliet anything about Warner's past. He wanted Juliet to ask Warner himself, but then is happy to tell Warner everything about Juliet's past and won't tell Juliet himself. He said it all needs to come from Warner, which I understand why it would be better to come from Warner, because he can like explain things and give context and stuff like that. Like I said earlier, they need to stop keeping secrets because things end up coming out, and it's always better if it comes from the horse's mouth, you know. So I can kind of understand that, but I don't understand why Castle is happy to tell Warner everything about Juliet but won't tell Juliet anything about Warner. I don't really trust his character. And then obviously you've got the two the brother and sister that have come from another commander. I don't really know how I feel about them. Obviously they're just doing things that the dad's telling them to do. I think I'm going to end up liking the girl. Was she called Nazima or something like that? I'm going to end up liking her, I feel. And I hope her and Kenji get together. I want Kenji to be happy. If this series ends, if Kenji dies in a book, I actually might have to stop reading it, because he is my favourite character. And also James and Adam, they're just like hardly mentioned in this book. Like, it's like Juliet has just completely forgotten about them, especially Adam. Like James, I actually don't think has made an appearance yet in this book. Adam's made an appearance when he's spoken to Warner, but it's just like they just don't exist anymore in Juliet's mind, which is a bit strange. But I guess she's got a lot going on, to be fair. So yeah, I'm a little bit confused. So yeah, anyway, like I said, I'm going to read for a little bit longer now, see how far I get. And I probably won't film again tonight, but I'll do a little catch up in the morning. What on earth was that ending? What? I know I should have, I absolutely should have, but I did not see that coming. I didn't see it coming at all. I did not think she was going to be one of the Supreme Commander's kids that all grew up together. She grew up with Aaron, with Warner. What? She's actually called Ella. Are we going to start calling her Ella now? Is she still going to go by Juliet? I'm so confused. At least we got the questions answered for how she didn't know, you know, she was adopted and they were her parents and stuff. But she got her mind swiped, basically. So at least that answers that question. But has Warner had his mind swiped as well then? Because how did he not know he grew up with Juliet? Like, they all grew up together. How did he not know she was the daughter of the commanders of Oceania? you know? So I'm assuming he got his mind swiped as well, because if that's something else that he's lying about, I mean, come on, you've got to learn your lesson at some point, do you know what I mean? You just have to, you've got to learn that keeping these secrets does not turn out well. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't. It backfires every time. The truth comes out, and it comes out in a way that you can't control, and it all ends up going tits up. So just tell the truth. If this is something else that he's lied about, I don't think it's gonna be. I think he's gonna have something's happened to his mind as well, because he didn't recognize her. I know she would have been older, but I feel like you would recognize someone still. And obviously Emmeline, the sister, has been torturing her for all these years, but he didn't recognize her either. So I'm assuming something's happened with his mind. So now she's at Oceana. Is she gonna, have they gonna have got her sister out? Is she gonna meet her sister now? Obviously she grew up with, what's the girl called? Nazim, was it? Something beginning with N. Nazira. She grew up with Nazira, which kind of figured something was gonna happen there, because like they said that she was familiar. Nazira thought, you know, didn't understand why she didn't recognize her. But I thought she was gonna turn out, because she's got powers, Nazira, I thought it was gonna turn out that she was getting like tortured at some point as well, so she knew her from like the asylum or something. But no, they actually grew up together. I don't know what this one is about, because we've got Juliet and Warner's point of view from this. Maybe it's going to be Adam's point of view, but I feel like we don't really like need his point of view. Do you know what I mean? Oh, okay. Oh, this is from Kenji's point of view. Okay, so the first, I don't want to read what the second novella is about in case it's going to spoil something for me in the next book. But the first novella is called Shadow Me, and it says, Kenji must support Juliet as she reels from Warner's betrayal. So this must be the part when Juliet is with Nazira maybe, and Kenji finding out what's happened with Juliet. I'm assuming, I don't really know. But yeah, I'm a bit baffled by that ending of Restore Me. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. So now, and she's also, how can I forget, she's also just killed all those people. She's just killed like nearly 600 people. Half of her like friendship group is also dead. We don't know what's happened with Kenji. Obviously I'm assuming he's alive because this book's from his point of view, but we don't know what's happened to him, who's taken him. We don't know what's happened with Warner. Castle was unconscious. Who else was there? Winston is obviously going to be devastated because Brendan's now dead, Aaliyah's dead, Lily's dead, and Ian's dead. I feel like they're all very much side characters, but it's going to affect them all that they've died. I'm a bit like, whoa, we've just lost so many people so quickly, you know? But Kenji's one of my favourite characters, so I'm kind of glad we're getting something from his point of view. So I'm going to go and read this now, see what happens, and then I'll start Defy Me. Time wise, we are on, I've been reading all morning. I think I started reading about 6:30 and it's now 5 to 9, and we've got 14 hours 24 minutes and 47 seconds left to go for the day. So obviously with it being 9 o'clock, I don't think I'm going to read for another 14 hours. I also need to pop out at some point today, so yeah, it's probably going to roll on, well, it will roll on to tomorrow, but that's okay, that's fine. I'm still going to read for 24 hours. I'm still going to read until I finish the series. Maybe it won't even take me 24 hours, who knows. But anyway, let me stop yapping on. I'm going to start this novella and then read the next big book. What? Like, actually, what? This was even more confusing than the end of Restore Me. What just happened? So I've just read the first novella in this, Shadow Me, which is in Kenji's point of view. And first of all, he is definitely one of my favourite characters. Like, when he's talking to Nazira and he's just like, can't string a sentence together, and he's getting so nervous, and he tells her he's in love with her, and then he's like, oh no, just kidding, because he's like well embarrassed that he's just said that out loud. I just think he's so adorable, bless him. And obviously he's like the class clown, but really he just puts on this face to try and cheer people up. He's just my favourite character, honestly. I really enjoy reading from his point of view. But then at the end, they're at the symposium that, so at the end of Restore Me, Juliet thinks everyone, like half of them have died, and then she gets taken by who I'm assuming they're her mum and dad, her biological mum and dad, who are the Oceania Supreme Commanders. At the end of this one, she hasn't killed 600 people. It's literally as though it's like a play. So was she hallucinating that? Was that something to do with the poison? That she was hallucinating it all? Because is that what like the healer twins have told Castle? That it's all fake? Is she even with her mum and dad? Is that all a hallucination? Is Castle involved in it? His, like, what I'm assuming is his wife, or at least is the mother of his children, was trying to send him a message. I'm hoping that we're gonna find out what that was in the next book. But yeah, the 600 people aren't actually dead, because now they're all moving. Brendan's not dead, he just got shot in the shoulder. Ian's not dead, so I'm assuming Lily and Aaliyah, was it, aren't dead either. So why did she must have just been hallucinating the whole thing. So what else has she been hallucinating? Do you know what I mean? Where's Warner? Has he been taken as well? Is he the one that's taken Julia? Is he actually a traitor? Is Adam a traitor? Because you've not seen him anywhere, and I haven't trusted him for a while now. I'm so confused of what's going on. I feel like the last book, until you got to the last few chapters where it all started kicking off, which was just like all of a sudden everything was happening. I feel like the book was a little bit slow. It was a bit boring. It was just not really much was happening. It was kind of like a filler book, and now I feel like I'm fully invested in the story again. I'm so confused. I want to know what's happened. I'm gonna start the next one, which is Defy Me. I'm gonna start that. Obviously I'm going to start it now. I'm assuming this again is all from Juliet's point of view. Are we getting Warner's as well? Yeah, we are. Juliet and Warner. Oh, well, it says Juliet and then it's crossed out and says Ella. So we're getting her point of view. We're getting Warner's point of view. So has Warner taken her? Oh, we've got some of Kenji's point of view. We've got a few different ones in there. Okay, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Also, Warner's page in Restore Me, his page was all like black ink around it, and now it's got like birds around it. So I wonder if that's significant or if that doesn't really mean anything. Kenji's has now got the darkness around the edge. Does that mean anything, or is that just a design choice? Who knows? So obviously Juliet, I'm assuming they're going to be in 3 different places maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't trust Castle. I don't trust Adam. Even though he's not in it, I still feel like something's going on with him. Who else don't I trust? Obviously you've got the rest of the Supreme Leaders' kids. The 2 Spanish ones, the British one, who I think said his dad was from Kenya originally. And then you've got Nazira's brother. I feel like I'm a bit confused about whether I'm meant to trust him or not. And then obviously then Lena, his ex-girlfriend, who just seems like a bitch. So, but I think she's a bitch, but I think she's going to turn out that we're going to be able to trust her, I think. Who else is there? Obviously Kenji is still my favourite. Oh, James, has he got some kind of powers? Did we know that already? Did we already know he had powers? Or is that new information? He's going to be some kind of healer, I'm assuming, because he's working with the healer twins. And then a real biological parent. Hopefully they find his sister in this one, and we figure out, like, the rescuer. We figure out what's going on there. I don't know, honestly. I don't know where the story's going to go, but I feel like I'm the most invested in the storyline that I have been so far. So I'm looking forward to getting into this one, and I'm really glad we've got some more of Kenji's point of view. I feel like this potentially, not to set it up for a failure, but it could be my favourite book so far. Let's do a time check-in. So it's currently just before 10 o'clock, and on my timer we've got 13 hours 22 minutes to go. Right, I'm in the middle of a Kenji chapter, and he's finally getting somewhere with Nazira. So I'm on page 68 of this book. He's finally getting somewhere with Nazira, and I'm so glad he's finally getting a bit of happiness. And I swear, if in this story he ends up getting his heart broken, or she ends up being like a traitor, she ends up going against him, or she's just using him, I'm gonna be fuming. I'm actually going to be fuming, because he's finally found someone that he's finally, first of all, realised that he wants more. Like, he wants to have a relationship, he wants someone like that he can love and that can love him. And now he's actually found that, and he's found out that she's attracted to him as well, and he obviously, I'm pretty sure he's already in love with her. And if she breaks his heart, I'm actually gonna be fuming. I'm gonna be so upset for him. Oh, I really hope she doesn't. I hope it doesn't turn out that she's been using him this whole time. Well, that didn't last long. I'm now on page 71. That was the end of the Genji chapter, and Nazira's decided that she don't want to be his girlfriend, which I understand why she's saying that. I think because there's like so much going on, and they obviously don't live in the same place, and she's from like a supreme commander like family and he's not, and she's got like a really strict dad and stuff. So I understand where she's coming from, but why did she start it in the first place? Do you know what I mean? Why start anything with Kenji if you don't want to actually go anywhere with him? Why break his heart like that, you know? Oh god, it's so annoying. Literally that lasted like 3 pages, something like that, and she's broke his heart already. I'm hoping that they are going to end up still getting together. I think she's just not going to be able to like resist, and they're going to end up still getting together, and then hopefully Nazira's dad gets killed or something at some point, and then they can just be together. Or Juliet like changes rules if she becomes like leader and takes over. But yeah, I was really rooting for that, and it did not last long. Oh, so I've misunderstood that. I thought Noria was gonna be Castle's wife, or like the mother of his kids, but she's actually his daughter. Okay, so she seems to be a rebel as well, from a different sector, but I don't know what, like, how she's coming into it, what information she's got yet. But yeah, I misunderstood that. I thought she was going to be his wife. It's actually quite sweet that in Moana and Juliet's chapters, mainly up to now, they've just been sort of reliving like memories or going through things in the past. And it's quite sweet that in Moana's chapter, so it seems like they've seen each other numerous times in the childhood, but each time the memories have been wiped, so they don't remember each other, but they always seem to just stare at each other. Like, they seem to be infatuated by each other straight away, no matter what age they're at, which I think is so sweet. It's like they're meant to be. It's like soulmates type thing, where even though they're constantly having their minds wiped and not remember each other, they're still having that pull that they just can't control. Even though obviously they're only kids, they're only young, but they just, yeah, it's like soulmates. It's like they're just constantly finding each other. It's very, very sweet. It's like they were meant to be this whole time. What the heck has just happened? First of all, I feel like I knew there was something about what's he called again? Delalu. Yeah, Delalu. I knew there was something about him that was suspicious. I knew that he knew more than what he was letting on. There was just something dodgy about him. Also, I was going to stop reading and give my thoughts, and I thought I'll do it at the end of the chapter. What I was going to say was, Delalu keeps talking about Anderson in present tense. He's not talking about him in past tense. He wasn't talking about him as though he's now dead. He was talking about him in present tense. And then the chapter fucking ends with Anderson shooting him in the head. So how has he survived 2 bullets to the head? He must have some kind of powers too. He obviously must do, because how has he survived that? What is happening? This is definitely, I feel like, been the best book so far. I don't really remember my feelings on the first 2, I'll be honest, but from this video, for the ones that I've read in this video, this is definitely my favourite so far. I feel like I'm only on page 115 and so much has happened already. So much that I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's getting good. The story is getting really good. Okay, so it was definitely Emmeline that was talking to her, but I'm so glad that not only Juliet or Ella got to kill her mum, because she was some psychotic bitch, so I'm glad she got to kill her. she better not come back to life now like Anderson did. I don't think she will, because she's quite literally ripped her heart out of her chest. So yeah, I'm glad she got to kill her, but I'm also glad Emmeline got to like witness it, you know, and know that it happened. I think that would be a bit of a comfort. I hope they find a way to like get her out and she survives it and she can be healed. But I don't know, it probably depends, I guess, how far gone she is, because it sounds like she's pretty far gone. So yeah, but I am glad that the mum's dead. Hopefully the dad will get his comeuppance as well. Obviously Warren's just killed Anderson, he better actually stay dead now. And yeah, I don't really know what else is going to happen. I'm hoping we get another Kenji scene soon so that we can find out what them guys are up to, because he's now in Oceania. So yeah, carry on reading. Hopefully we get Kenji's POV soon. When will this man actually die? When is Anderson going to actually get his comeuppance? Because now he's alive again. He's still alive. Like, can someone just kill him properly and him actually stay dead? Do you know what I mean? Okay, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. Obviously Eve is now dead. Anderson unfortunately is still alive, and he's got some kind of healing powers because of the two healer twins. He's got some of their blood or something, but that's got to run out eventually. He said we're still working on it, but obviously Eve is now dead, so hopefully he won't be able to carry on healing. And now Nazira has come to, and I'm assuming Kenji is going to be somewhere, invisible somewhere, come to save Warner. We are going into another Ella, point of view chapter, but yeah, Kenji's now, I'm assuming he's going to be somewhere. Nazira's there, they're coming to save Warner. I just feel like the plan's coming together. They're all going to escape, hopefully soon, and find out if they can do anything for Emmeline. And then I'll get back to safety and we'll figure it out from there, I guess. So yeah, I feel like they're gonna succeed. I'm really hoping they succeed, but we'll see. I'm assuming Nazira is gonna be invisible, she'll be on Warner duty, and Kenji's gonna have gone invisible and is gonna be on Ella, Juliet duty and go and find her, and then hopefully them two together can figure out how to save Emmeline. But we'll see, but fingers crossed they managed to get her out. Okay, so I actually ended up listening to the rest of the book whilst I did some cooking. I'm so warm, it is way too warm to be stood in a kitchen cooking, and I've got joggers on, which is not helping the situation. Anyway, so I've just finished Defy Me. Like I say, I listened to the rest of it, so that's why I haven't really done any updates, because I was just listening to it whilst I was in the kitchen. So yeah, I thought that was a really lovely ending. They're celebrating Warner's birthday. I think it was he said it was his first ever, like definitely his first ever birthday party and his first ever birthday cake, and normally he's got his dad coming to beat him basically on his birthday. So I thought that was really lovely. I feel like I wish the ending was in Warner's POV rather than Ella's or Juliet's, because then we could know how he was feeling about the birthday party and the birthday cake. But still, it was a really lovely ending. I thought it was a good way to end it. But yeah, so there are basically a different version of Omega Point now, but with Castle's daughter and her wife as sort of the head of it. I don't really know where Adam and James are. They're the only ones that are missing, I think. I'm not really sure where they've gone, so there's a bit of a question mark next to them. Obviously her mum's dead. Evie, she's dead. Anderson's still alive still, even though he should have been dead twice now, I think, or 3 times. He's still alive, so I'm assuming that's going to be wrapped up in the next one. And also Ella's dad, and also Emmeline. Are they going to get her out? Are they going to manage to rescue her so she can survive, or will she end up killing her so that at least she's out, you know, she's not in, like, what's the word, what am I trying to say, she's been like put out of her misery type thing. Anyway, yeah, basically is she gonna put her out of her misery so that she doesn't have to be tortured anymore. I still for some reason feel like Warner's mum's gonna come back alive, but I think that's just because her death was a little bit, I don't understand where she went when she died, like where's she gone, you know? So I personally still have a little question mark next to that one. Obviously we need to know what James's power is as well, like where's he gone? Do they have their own spin-off series, them two, like Adam and James? I don't know. But yeah, so I thought that was a really lovely ending. I really like the relationship between Kenji and Warner. I hope we get more of that. I know I've got the second part of this novella, Reveal Me, which I think is what I'm meant to read next, and I'm assuming that's in Kenji's point of view again, so hopefully we'll get a bit of their relationship in that one. I don't know whose POV the next one is in, so we've got that novella and then the last full book, which is Imagine Me, which I'm assuming is going to be in Juliet's point of view, and she's going to be rising up. Hopefully Anderson finally gets his comeuppance and actually gets murdered and stays dead, and like I say, they figure out what they're doing with Emmeline. I hope Kenji gets his happily ever after. Time wise, we have got just under 9 hours to go, 8 hours 54 minutes, so it's currently 10 to 6. So like I said, I'm gonna eat my tea now. Let's say I start reading again at 7, I'll probably only get a couple of hours in, and then I'll try to read for another 7-ish hours tomorrow. I've just finished Reveal Me, the second novella in this Find Me book, which is in Kenji's point of view. So firstly, it ends with Juliet or Ella saying, Emmeline, don't do this, or something like that, she says. There's like all loads of chaos and screaming, and it just all sounds like it's going to shit. And she says, Emmeline, please don't do this. No idea what that's about. Is she in the heads? Is she actually there? Has like Anderson and the dad figured out how to like revive her? Or like I say, is she just in Juliet's head? Is she in everyone's head? I don't really know what's going on there, but obviously I'm sure we'll find out in the next book. Anderson has got Adam and James, which I kind of figured what was what was going to happen, because they were like nowhere to be found. So obviously they must have been captured or something. So yeah, I kind of saw that one coming, but I don't really know what he wants to do with them. Like, does he want to make them into weapons like he did with Emmeline and Ella? I'm not really sure with that one. Oh, the main thing that happened in this was Kenji. Well, first of all, Kenji like collapsed. Sounds like he was just really stressed, really tired, had drugs in his system, hadn't eaten, hadn't slept, and it just all made him collapse. But him and Nazira have sorted their shit out, and they're both kind of as chaotic as each other, basically. Well, Kenji was feeling like she must be, you know, working for someone else. She must be a traitor, because why would she choose me, type thing. And Nazira was just thinking, I've never done this before, I've never been in a relationship before, so we can't do this, I'm no good at it. And now finally they've sorted it out, which I'm so glad about. There was one point where Nazira said something about Kenji being in love with Juliet, and I thought, oh, if that's the storyline, I'm actually going to be really disappointed, because I really love the fact that it's like a boy and a girl are just best friends, and there's nothing like sexual between them. There's no sort of attraction. They can both appreciate that the other person's good looking, but they're just like best friends, you know, and I love that. And I thought that's going to be so disappointing if it turns out he's in love with her. Like, can't they just be friends? But I'm glad that didn't turn out to be true, because Kenji was like, I'm absolutely not, what are you talking about? Like, he loves her, but like a sister, like a best friend. So yeah, I'm glad that wasn't part of the storyline. I'm at least hoping that that doesn't come into fruition. And now Kenji and Nazira seem to have kind of sorted it out, but it's ended where they didn't fully get to. And he still think he has suspicions about her, and he's still worried that she is like gonna end up going against them. So we'll see how that bit turns out. So yeah, that is the novella done. So now I'm gonna go on to the last book in this series. I think it's the last one anyway. I don't think there's any more after this. Good morning. So obviously it's the next day now, and I am reading Imagine Me. I'm on page, I think I'm just under halfway. I'm on page 209, so I'm just under halfway, I think. I think there's about 460 pages, something like that in this book. Yeah, I feel like I don't really have any thoughts so far. I can't really remember what I said yesterday. I think the last catch up I did was after reading the other novella. I don't think I've done anything on this yet, so I read for a couple of hours yesterday, and I've done a bit of reading again this morning. Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts. So we've got Juliet, who is now back with Anderson. So Emmeline sort of basically fucked them all over. I don't know if she purposefully did it, but she basically led Anderson like straight to the sanctuary, the new like rebel camp. So we knew the location then because she caused like a big sort of, I don't really know what it was. At first I thought it was just in everyone's head because I thought she could just do things with people's minds, but she can also actually move things as well. So she was like causing like fires and like a hurricane or something, just loads of things happening all at the same time, and was like also inside Juliet's head and kind of messed her up for a while, almost like she like took over her body. And anyway, then Anderson came because he knew the location now. He's ended up taking Juliet back as a hostage. Warner's obviously gone into like a bit of a shell of a person, like a bit how he used to be before Juliet, because Juliet's been taken. Anderson's swiped Juliet's memory. I think it's actually worked this time. I don't think she's faking it. She's not said to us that she's faking it, but I feel like it might come out that she is, but I'm not sure because she is fully, it's like she's like completely submitted to him. He's completely controlling her. She has no memory of anyone else. He's also got Adam still. I've not seen him yet though, but James is okay. He's with the rebel camp now and he's doing okay, but he said Adam gave himself up so that James would be protected. Yeah, Kenji's okay. He was shot, but he's okay now. And a few of them have died, but I don't think anyone from like the main sort of group of people that were from Omega Point, and they're all still alive as far as I can tell. Nazira's still in like a bit of a coma because she got shot too. They're basically, I'm assuming it's just going to be another rescue mission to go and get Juliet. Which I just feel like every book is just like a rescue mission essentially, to go and save a different person, which I guess keeps the story going. But yeah, this one, it does feel very like one thing after another, like very action packed, but also we're just sort of in the same position as we were a few books ago. Obviously we've got more information now about what's happened and where Juliet's come from and her sister and stuff like that, but we're just basically in the same position. Like they're just controlling Juliet again. She's just a robot again basically. So yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I think I'm, like I say, I'm in the story, I'm finding it like action packed and it seems to be going really quickly, and obviously I'm already nearly halfway through it, and I've just read that in a couple of sittings, most of it last night, and I actually didn't want to put the book down to go to bed, but it reached, I think it was like 9:45 or something by the time I actually ended up going to bed, which doesn't sound late, but for me it is late. And I definitely could have stayed up, you know, I could have easily forced myself to stay up and carry on reading, but I didn't. I went to bed and then I've got up this morning and done a bit more reading. So time wise, we have got, let's have a look, 5 hours and 12 minutes left. I think I'll probably get this book done in maybe like 3 hours ish, and then I should be able to get the novella done then in 2 hours, hopefully. That's the plan anyway, and then I'll be able to, I think it will literally come down to the wire. Like I'll either just fit them all in the 24 hours, or I might need just a little bit extra time to finish them. So I feel like I've done pretty well really getting them all read. But yeah, I'm going to carry on reading now. I don't really have many thoughts on the plot. I just feel like it's maybe going to be a little bit predictable, like they're going to save Juliet, she's going to be fine. They'll probably end up just killing Emmeline, I think, because I think she's just too far gone and she's like quite dangerous, so I think they might just end up killing her, and then hopefully everyone will just live happily ever after, and they'll save Adam and he'll be reunited with James. Oh, also James now knows, I think he knows anyway, that Warner is his brother. It's kind of alluded to it that he knows, but we haven't actually seen them have like a conversation specifically about them being brothers. But I think that's just more because Warner's just a bit out of it. He's just turned into like a sort of soldier again, like with no emotions, you know. He's just shut down since Juliet got taken. So yeah, hopefully we see a bit of their like brotherly relationship, and then when Adam joins them as well, hopefully we'll see a bit more of that. And yeah, hopefully they just save Juliet and everyone lives happily ever after, but we'll see. Hopefully everyone survives. He is actually a psycho. Anderson is actually a psycho. He's literally just made Juliet cut her finger off and give it to him. Cut her own finger off to show her loyalty. what the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? I'm glad that Kenji now is getting, you know, getting through to Warner, and they're gonna go and save Juliet together. Also, I keep forgetting to mention the little details with the chapters for Juliet. So in the first few books, obviously she's called Juliet, and that's the point of view you're getting. And then in, I think it was the last book, the last full one, was it Defy Me? Juliet is scratched out and she's called Ella, because she's finally, like, you know, remembering everything and she knows who she is. And then this one, now that she's back under Anderson's thumb again, under like the re-establishment's thumb, Ella is crossed out and she's Juliet again. And I just think that's a really cool, like, detail, you know, attention to detail, that she's now under the re-establishment she's Juliet, and then when she's free and she can be who she wants to be, she's Ella. I just thought that was a really cool, like I say, attention to detail that I wanted to mention. Right, I'm actually getting sick of this now. I'm getting so sick of Anderson being killed and just coming back to life. What the hell is actually going to kill this man once and for all? I won't lie, I felt a bit disappointed when Ibrahim killed him, because I thought that death was like too quick, do you know what I mean? He needs to be like tortured and suffer, and I thought it was too quick. But then it didn't matter anyway, because he came back to life, obviously, for like the 3rd time or the 4th time. He's now back alive. Juliet is still like a robot and is been told she's got to go and kill them. That's literally what I'm up to now. She's got to go and kill Kenji and Warner. Nazira is off doing some stuff with technology to try and get them all, you know, out of there, give them enough time that they can rescue Juliet. She's a robot, but surely at some point she's gonna sort of clock on to the fact that she don't actually want to kill these people. Ibrahim's now dead. Warner literally just murdered him. One of the other Supreme leaders is dead, I think, Santiago. I'm not sure who that one was, I can't remember. And that's kind of where we're up to. So I'm hoping she maybe as she's fighting them, she's gonna sort of look at Warner a bit closer and realise she don't actually want to kill him. But yeah, I hope someone at some point actually manages to murder Anderson and he actually stays dead. That's all I'm asking for. I knew that was gonna happen. I'm so glad they're like soulmates, and Juliet or Ella and Warner or Aaron have found each other, and he sort of brought her back and sort of made it, all her memories come back. And obviously she's really injured and she's like on the floor struggling, but I knew they'd find each other. I knew she wouldn't end up killing him or, you know, killing anyone. I thought that fighting, he'd manage to bring her back, you know. And now she remembers them. I'm hoping now that Kenji, because he's kind of been separated, he's with Nazira, I'm hoping they find Aaron and Kenji can reunite with Aaron and they sort of manage to save him, and then they all get home happily ever after. Obviously Juliet's gonna have some like issues. Also, she needs to kill Emmeline. I feel like there's a lot to happen in the next like 30 pages or whatever there is left. I feel like there's not a lot of time left, but there seems to be a lot to do. Hopefully they manage to get it all done, but I don't know what the next book then is for. Maybe it all rounds up in the next book, even though it's quite a short one, but that's only a novella, so surely it must be rounded up in this. If this leaves me on a cliffhanger and I've actually got more books to read, I thought it was all going to end in this book. I thought it was going to end and then the novella was just going to be like one of those like epilogues where they're all just living happily ever after. Maybe it's the wedding or something, I don't know. But yeah, I hope it gets all tied up by the end of this book. Oh, I actually think that was a really good ending. I think it rounded off everyone's sort of story. All of the Supreme Commanders all got their comeuppance. They all got murdered one way or another by different people. The only thing I've not really seen is Nazira. I think that bit was very sort of done very quickly. Like Nazira just saved all the kids and Adam, and obviously Kenji was there, and they all just got out at the same time and they were fine, and it wasn't really mentioned again when the building was collapsing. So I think that it was all maybe done a little bit quick. But then in the epilogue everything's like rounded off nicely. Obviously Juliet ended up killing Emmeline, but in like a nice way. you know, obviously not a nice way for Juliet, but kind of so that she's not in, Emmeline's not in pain anymore and stuff like that, because she wasn't really human. I think she described her as more amphibian than human. So yeah, I think everyone's story is like nicely rounded off. Not really seeing much of James, but he's okay. Adam is like a whole different person. That whole storyline I'm a bit confused about. I feel like he was just kind of forgotten, like considering he was such a big part in the first like 2 books. I just think we just kind of forgot about him and he didn't really have much of a storyline. But yeah, at least he's like home, happy, healthy, all that jazz. And yeah, I think the epilogue rounded it off really well. It's obviously the wedding day, but it's not really gone to plan. I'm assuming maybe in Believe Me we'll find out what Kenji did to the wedding outfits, how he managed to actually destroy them so that she didn't have a wedding dress and one didn't have a suit. Yeah, but I thought the story was rounded off really well. So I've only got now Believe Me left to go. So maybe this whole thing's just going to be about the wedding day then. Oh, also I like the fact that Juliet, or Ella, decided she wanted to reclaim the name Juliet so that it didn't have any power over anymore. So everyone calls her Juliet, but then Aaron gets to call her Ella. I thought that was nice. I thought that was cute. Also, I thought it was really cute the very ending, as in like the last couple of chapters, where she gets to hold a dog for the first time, because obviously she didn't know she could hold anything without killing it. And now she gets to hold and have a cuddle with a dog, and I just thought that was so cute. Such a nice ending. Oh, time wise, considering this is in 24 hours, we have got, oh, it's not in 24 hours, but you know what I mean. We've got 2 hours 44 minutes left, so I think I should be able to get that done, especially if the first few chapters are what I've already read. I should be able to get that finished in 2 hours 44 minutes. And that is me done. So I've just finished Believe Me. And yeah, that's the end of the series. I definitely think this book, it's very sweet. Like, there's really sweet moments. It's basically the whole lead up to the wedding, to Aaron and Ella getting married. I think if I hadn't have read it, I don't necessarily feel like I would have missed out on much, you know. But it's a very sweet ending, and it kind of rounds it all off. I think it's just a bit like, I don't know, a bit sort of nothingness, you know. I haven't really gained anything from it other than like a few sweet moments, I suppose. But yeah, so that was the very last book in this series, and that is me completely finished. I'm so glad I decided to finish it and get them all read. So I managed to get all of these read in 24 hours. So we've got 4 full-size books, and then this one's got 2 novellas in it, so technically 3 novellas as well, all within 24 hours. Actually less than 24 hours, because I've still got 54 minutes left, which obviously I don't need now because I have actually completed it. So yeah, I feel very proud of myself managing to get all of them read. And yeah, I think overall the series, it's probably a 3.5 series. Don't think I might have given one of the novellas 4 stars because I liked the Kenji novellas, but other than that I don't think any of them got over 3.5 really. So yeah, I'd say 3.5 series. Actually, I can't remember what I gave the very first one. I might have given that 4 stars, but I don't know if I read it now I would necessarily give it 4 stars, you know. But yeah, glad I read it, glad I've got them all done, all off my TBR now as well. So a 24-hour readathon, but really I've read for 23 hours, but I did manage to get read what I wanted to read. So yeah, that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did and you'd like to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Also, if you've got any recommendations of other series, I know this one's super popular, so if there's any other really popular series that you think I should read, let me know. But yeah, that's the end of today's video. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in a bit.